Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to share with you a life-changing idea inspired by the timeless wisdom of Jim Rohn. He once said, "Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. But just as important as what we add to our lives is what we must delete." Think about it, your phone works faster when you clear out unnecessary apps. Your mind, your energy, your life works the same way. To truly live a life of purpose, growth, and abundance, you must learn the art of subtraction. So let's dive into 10 things you must delete from your life to live like Jim Rohn. 1. Excuses. Excuses are the invisible chains that keep people tied to mediocrity. They appear harmless at first, just a simple explanation for why something didn't get done. But over time they grow stronger and tighter until they become a permanent way of living. The truth is, excuses are nothing more than cleverly disguised lies we tell ourselves to avoid responsibility. Jim Rohn often reminded us that if you really want something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. That single line can change your life because it exposes the choice we all face every day: either own our actions or hide behind reasons that sound good but get us nowhere. Excuses come in many forms. Some say, "I don't have the time," yet the same 24 hours are given to every person, those who succeed and those who fail. Others say, "I don't have the money," forgetting that many of the most successful individuals in history started with nothing but a burning desire to change. Some hide behind age, claiming they are too young or too old, while others lean on circumstances, insisting the timing isn't right. But if you peel back every excuse, you'll find fear, doubt, or a lack of discipline hiding underneath. What makes excuses so dangerous is how convincing they sound. They allow you to feel comfortable while doing nothing. They give you a false sense of justification for staying the same. But comfort today always costs growth tomorrow. Every time you give in to an excuse, you rob yourself of an opportunity to grow, to stretch, to build the life you dream of. The cure is simple but not easy. Take full responsibility. Stop saying "I can't" and start asking, "How can I?" Shift from excuses to solutions, from reasons to results. Instead of explaining why you didn't do it, commit to finding a way to do it. Delete excuses from your vocabulary, and you'll immediately begin to see new doors of possibility open. Remember this truth: success doesn't demand perfection, but it does demand ownership. And the day you stop making excuses is the day you start rewriting your future. 2. Negative people. Negative people are like anchors tied to your spirit. No matter how strong your desire to rise, they will pull you down if you allow them. Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." That truth alone explains why surrounding yourself with the wrong crowd can quietly sabotage your growth. Negative people drain your energy, distort your perspective, and make you doubt your own potential. Their words may sound harmless: complaints, criticism, or subtle discouragement, but over time their influence poisons your mindset. These individuals often operate from fear, jealousy, or insecurity. When you share your dreams, they'll tell you it's impossible. When you strive for improvement, they'll remind you of your past failures. They see life through a lens of limitation, and if you're not careful, they'll hand you their glasses. The danger is not just in their words, but in the habits you unconsciously adopt when you're around them. Spend enough time with people who complain, and you'll start complaining. Spend enough time with people who doubt, and soon you'll doubt yourself. The solution is not cruelty or arrogance. It is clarity. You must recognize the impact others have on your life and make intentional choices about who earns your time and attention. Protect your energy the way you protect your money. Distance yourself from those who consistently pull you into negativity, and invest your time in those who lift you up, challenge you, and inspire you to grow. This doesn't mean you must cut everyone out harshly, but it does mean setting boundaries. You can love people from a distance without allowing them to dictate your direction. Surround yourself with positive influences, mentors, achievers, dreamers, and encouragers. Their energy will fuel your belief, their vision will expand your own, and their example will remind you of what's possible. At the end of the day, your environment is stronger than your willpower. If you want to live like Jim Rohn, you must curate your circle carefully. Delete negative people from your daily life, and you'll discover more clarity, courage, and momentum than you ever imagined. Fear of failure. Fear of failure is one of the greatest barriers to success, yet it exists only in the mind. It convinces us to stay small, to avoid risks, and to settle for less than we are capable of becoming. The tragedy is that failure itself is not nearly as dangerous as the fear of it. Failure can teach us, redirect us, and even strengthen us. But fear of failure paralyzes us before we even take the first step. Jim Rohn often emphasized that failure is not the opposite of success. It is an essential part of success. Every person you admire, every leader you look up to has failed multiple times on the path to achievement. The difference is they refuse to let fear control them. This fear often whispers lies. What if you're not good enough? What if you lose everything? What will people think if you fail? These questions feel real, but they are rooted in insecurity, not truth. The reality is that most people are not watching you as closely as you think. They are too busy with their own lives. And those who criticize are often people who never dared to try themselves. Allowing their opinions to shape your future is like handing them the steering wheel of your life. When you delete the fear of failure, you gain freedom. You free yourself to experiment, to learn, to improve. Every setback becomes a stepping stone. The lessons you gain through trial and error are worth far more than the comfort of never trying. The person who never fails is the person who never attempts anything meaningful. The key to overcoming this fear is to change your relationship with failure. Instead of seeing it as an ending, view it as feedback. Instead of fearing what could go wrong, focus on what you could learn, how you could grow, and who you could become. Jim Rohn put it simply, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Each failure makes you better if you let it. So stop waiting for perfect conditions and take action. Delete the fear of failure, and you'll discover that courage, not certainty, is the true foundation of success. 4. Procrastination. Procrastination is the silent thief of dreams. It never shouts, it never alarms you, but day by day it quietly robs you of opportunities, progress, and growth. Jim Rohn warned, without a sense of urgency, desire loses its value. Procrastination convinces you that tomorrow is always available, that there will always be more time. But the truth is, time is the one resource you can never get back once it's gone. Every hour wasted is an hour of potential erased forever. The dangerous part of procrastination is that it disguises itself as comfort. It tells you, I'll start when I feel ready, or I'll do it when the timing is right. But readiness is a myth, and perfect timing never comes. Life rewards action, not hesitation. Successful people aren't those who had more time. They are those who used their time better. They took the first step, even when conditions weren't perfect, even when they felt unprepared. And with each step, they built momentum that carried them forward. Procrastination also multiplies problems. What begins as a small task ignored becomes a mountain of stress later. The more you delay, the heavier the weight becomes. This is why people who constantly put things off often feel overwhelmed. They are carrying the burden of yesterday's unfinished work into today. The cycle never ends until you break it with decisive action. The cure is discipline and clarity. Break tasks into smaller steps and commit to finishing them, no matter how small. Replace someday with today. Replace I'll try with I will. The moment you choose action over delay, you take back control of your life. Jim Rohn reminded us that discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. Procrastination may feel light now, but its long-term cost is crushing. When you delete procrastination from your life, you discover the power of momentum. Small actions, repeated daily, compound into extraordinary results. Stop waiting for tomorrow, because tomorrow is promised to no one. Act now, take responsibility, and you will move closer to the life you dream of. The time to begin is not next week, not later today. The time to begin is now. 5. Comparison with others. Comparison is one of the most subtle yet destructive habits a person can develop. At first, it may seem harmless, looking at what others have, how they live, or what they've achieved. But over time, it plants seeds of dissatisfaction, envy, and frustration in your heart. Jim Rohn taught that true happiness and success come from focusing on your own growth, not measuring your progress against someone else's. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you rob yourself of joy and fail to appreciate the uniqueness of your own journey. The danger of comparison is that it's never fair. You compare your behind-the-scenes struggles with someone else's highlight reel. You see their success but not their sacrifices, their triumphs but not their failures. This distorted view tricks you into thinking you are behind, unworthy, or incapable. It creates a cycle where no achievement feels like enough, because there will always be someone richer, smarter, or more accomplished. Living in comparison keeps you trapped in scarcity thinking. Instead of asking, how can I improve myself? You start asking, why don't I have what they have? That shift in mindset drains motivation and replaces it with resentment. And resentment never builds. It only destroys. The truth is, the only person you need to compete with is the person you were yesterday. If you are improving, even in small ways, you are winning. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it may seem. Gratitude for your own journey creates peace, while comparison only breeds bitterness. The key to deleting comparison is awareness and focus. Limit the time you spend on things that fuel envy, such as mindless scrolling through social media. Replace that energy with reflection, goal setting, and action. Celebrate the success of others without letting it diminish your own. Let their achievements inspire you, not discourage you. Jim Rohn often reminded us that success is personal. It is not about being better than others, but about becoming the best version of yourself. When you stop comparing, you start living. You discover freedom, joy, and the confidence to walk your own unique path, without apology, without envy, and without fear. 6. Comfort zone. The comfort zone is a seductive place. It whispers to you that everything is fine as it is, that you don't need to stretch yourself, that risk is dangerous and effort is unnecessary. It feels safe, familiar, and easy, but it is also the place where dreams slowly die. Jim Rohn often reminded us that nothing changes until you do, and nothing grows inside the walls of comfort. The comfort zone gives the illusion of security, but in reality it robs you of growth, opportunity, and fulfillment. Think about it. Every great achievement in history was born outside of comfort. The entrepreneur who built a thriving business, the athlete who broke records, the speaker who moved millions, all of them stepped into the unknown, embraced discomfort, and faced fear head on. Growth never comes from repeating what you already know. It comes from stretching yourself beyond what feels easy. The danger of the comfort zone is how quietly it traps you. You may not even realize it's happening. You go to the same job, follow the same routine, and repeat the same conversations. Days turn into weeks, weeks into years, and suddenly you wonder why your life feels stagnant. Comfort creates a cage where nothing hurts you, but nothing excites you either. It is safe, but it is lifeless. Breaking free requires courage and discipline. It means saying yes to challenges that scare you, taking on responsibilities that stretch you, and pursuing goals that feel bigger than what you think you can handle. Discomfort is not your enemy. It is your teacher. Every time you step beyond comfort, you discover new skills, deeper confidence, and greater resilience. Jim Rohn put it simply, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Becoming better requires leaving what is easy. When you delete the addiction to comfort, you open the door to growth, creativity, and success. Life will always present two choices, the easy path of comfort or the harder path of growth. Choose growth and your future self will thank you. Comfort offers short-term relief, but growth offers a lifetime of rewards. 7. Lack of discipline. Lack of discipline is one of the greatest obstacles between people and their dreams. It is the gap between intention and action, between desire and achievement. Many people have goals, ambitions, and even the talent to succeed, but without discipline, those gifts remain unused. Jim Rohn called discipline the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Without that bridge, no dream can be reached. Discipline is not about perfection. It is about consistency. It is the daily decision to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. The problem is that most people wait for motivation, but motivation is fleeting. Discipline is what keeps you moving. When motivation fades, lack of discipline makes you a prisoner of moods and excuses. One day you feel inspired and work hard, but the next day you feel tired and do nothing. Over time, inconsistency erodes progress and leaves you frustrated, wondering why your life is not changing. The danger of lacking discipline is subtle. It feels harmless in the moment. Skipping a workout today doesn't feel like a big deal. Postponing a task until tomorrow seems manageable. Spending a little extra money feels insignificant. But over time, these small lapses accumulate into wasted years, financial struggles, and unfulfilled potential. Jim Rohn often reminded us that discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. The cost of discipline may feel heavy in the moment, but it is nothing compared to the lifelong weight of regret. Building discipline requires commitment to small daily actions. Start with manageable habits. Reading for 10 minutes, exercising for 15, writing down your goals each morning. These small disciplines compound over time into extraordinary results. The key is to treat discipline as a non-negotiable, not something you practice only when convenient. When you delete lack of discipline from your life, you unlock the power of consistency. Your actions begin to align with your goals, and slowly success becomes inevitable. Discipline is not punishment. It is the highest form of self-respect. It means you care enough about your future to take control of your present. With discipline, you can turn ordinary days into extraordinary results and ordinary people into extraordinary leaders. 8. Self-doubt. Self-doubt is one of the most crippling forces in a person's life. It whispers in your ear that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not capable enough to achieve your goals. It convinces you to play small, to hesitate, and to abandon dreams before you even begin. Jim Rohn often reminded us that we become what we think about, and when self-doubt dominates your thoughts, it shapes your reality into something far less than what you're truly capable of. The most dangerous thing about self-doubt is that it disguises itself as caution. It makes you believe you're being realistic when in fact you're being limited. You might hesitate to start a business, apply for a promotion, or speak up with your ideas because of the nagging voice that says, "What if I fail? What if they laugh at me? What if I'm not ready?" But the real question is, what if you succeed? What if this is the very step that transforms your life? Too often people let the fear of what might go wrong outweigh the possibility of what could go right. Self-doubt also thrives on comparison. When you constantly measure yourself against others, you highlight your weaknesses and minimize your strengths. You see their successes, but overlook your own progress. Over time, this mindset chips away at your confidence and convinces you to settle for less. But the truth is, everyone starts somewhere. The people you admire were once beginners too. They just chose to believe in themselves long enough to keep going. The cure for self-doubt is action and self-trust. Every small step you take builds evidence that you are capable. Confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you create by doing. Each time you act despite doubt, the voice grows weaker. Jim Rohn believed that philosophy, the way you think, determines your destiny. If you replace doubt with belief, your actions will align with your potential. Delete self-doubt, and you open the door to courage, creativity, and growth. You begin to see challenges as opportunities and setbacks as lessons. Remember, the only limits that truly exist are the ones you accept in your mind. Believe in yourself and you will discover just how far you can go. 9. Clutters and distractions. Clutter and distractions may seem small and harmless, but together they can quietly steal your focus, your energy, and your productivity. They don't just fill your physical space, they also invade your mental space. Jim Rohn often spoke about the importance of order and clarity in life, because when your environment is chaotic, your mind soon follows. Clutter, whether in your home, your workspace, or even in your digital life, creates stress and confusion. You waste time looking for things. You feel overwhelmed by the mess, and you lose the ability to concentrate on what really matters. Distractions are just as dangerous, if not more so. In today's world, they come in endless forms. Social media notifications, constant emails, television, or meaningless conversations that consume hours of your day. Every distraction pulls your attention away from your goals, breaking your focus and delaying progress. The problem is that distractions are addictive. They give you short bursts of pleasure or relief, but they cost you the deep, focused work required to achieve meaningful results. When clutter and distractions dominate your life, you live reactively instead of proactively. You start your day with good intentions, but instead of building your future, you spend your energy putting out fires, scrolling endlessly, or handling things that don't matter. Over time, this not only wastes your potential, but also leaves you frustrated because you know deep down that you are capable of so much more. The solution is intentional simplicity. Clear your physical environment so that it supports your focus, not competes for it. A clean desk, an organized room, and a decluttered schedule create space for creativity and clarity. Limit digital distractions by setting boundaries. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Schedule time blocks for focused work, and take control of your devices instead of letting them control you. Deleting clutter and distractions is not just about having a tidy space. It is about reclaiming your time and energy. When you remove what is unnecessary, you make room for what is essential. Your goals, your growth, your relationships, and your dreams. Focus is a superpower in a noisy world, and once you master it, you set yourself apart from the majority. 10. Living without goals. Living without goals is like setting sail without a compass. You may move, but you have no direction, no purpose, and no way to measure progress. Jim Rohn often emphasized that a life without clearly defined goals is a life wasted, because goals give focus, motivation, and meaning to every action. Without them, you drift aimlessly, reacting to circumstances instead of creating your own destiny. Every day becomes a series of tasks without significance, and the years pass without leaving a mark. The danger of living without goals is that it invites complacency. When you have no target to reach for, it's easy to settle for comfort, to accept mediocrity, and to allow external circumstances to dictate your life. People who wander aimlessly often feel restless, frustrated, and unfulfilled because deep down they know they are capable of more. They may be busy, but busyness without direction is not progress, it's just motion. Goals give you clarity. They define what matters and provide a roadmap to follow. When you know where you're going, every decision becomes easier because you can ask yourself, does this move me closer to my goal or farther away? Goals also create urgency. They compel you to act, to push beyond procrastination, fear, and distraction. Without them, it's easy to drift, to delay, and to make excuses for why life isn't turning out as you hoped. Setting goals is not just about writing down dreams, it's about committing to specific outcomes and taking consistent action toward them. Jim Rohn taught that time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. Goals help you use your time wisely, ensuring that each day is a building block toward the life you desire. Living without goals also deprives you of fulfillment. Achievement is deeply satisfying, and the act of working towards something meaningful shapes your character, strengthens your discipline, and builds confidence. Goals give your life narrative, your story, and your purpose. Delete aimlessness and embrace clarity. Define your goals, pursue them relentlessly, and watch how your life transforms from a series of random events into a deliberate, extraordinary journey. My friends, life is not just about adding more books, more wealth, more experiences. It's about deleting what no longer serves you, what slows you down, and what dims your potential. So starting today, delete these 10 things and you will make room for growth, wisdom, and the kind of success Jim Rohn lived and taught. Remember this, your best life is not ahead of you, it is within you. And it begins the moment you let go of what holds you back. Thank you.